So for this you'll want a sock. I'm using a really favourite sock of mine that for some reason since a week after I bought it the pair has been missing. So I'm going to use it for this project. You'll want needle and thread. I'm probably going to be using this horrible pink colour because it matches the nearest. You want something to draw with. I have an air erasable pen, even though you're probably not going to see any of the marks, but that's what I have. And as well as some fabric scissors. I have regular here, but I've also got my pink and shears out just in case, but I doubt I'll need them. You can see I've drawn some ears and also the top of my monster's head, and now I'm just going to do a back stitch around all of that before I do anything else. And I have chosen the top of my sock because I think it has a more interesting pattern than the bottom, and I want most of this on display. As you can see, I have done that back stitch around the ear shape. I've also done 2 lots of running stitch as well along the same lines. That's completely optional, it's just that I am going to be giving it to our daughter and I'm a little bit paranoid she'll wreck it, to be honest, so I wanted to be triply sure. Now I'm just going to cut out around, so on this side around the outline of my cat ears. So I've cut that out. I've also cut a good section of the toe off, as you can see here, and that's just the heel. Now I'm going to flip my sock the right way around. I'm trying to make this with whatever I have at home, so I am stuffing my monster with cotton balls that I am shredding up. Hopefully you can kind of see in there. And monster does kind of stand up. And I'm just going to do a running stitch around this opening so it gathers. To do any more, I want to show you I've changed my mind slightly. I'm still doing that running stitch, but I've pushed all the stuffing up, and I'm going to do a running stitch around here because this heel is really annoying me and it's not sitting right with the heel. So I'm going, as I said, I've just pushed it up and I'm going to make the body shorter. So this is the body all sewn up at the bottom. I couldn't really show you as I was doing it. I'm probably going to still put a little piece of felt on the bottom just to tidy it up a little bit. Now I've started on the legs, so that was the toe of the sock. I cut in half and all I've done is stitched up. I did a backward stitch and then a blanket stitch and then turned it the right way out, leaving the ends open, and I'm going to do that for the other leg. And then this was the heel that was left, so I just trimmed some of the pink section off, and I'm going to flip these the right sides together and do the same stitch to make the arms. I thought I'd better just show you what the inside does look like of the leg, and as you can see it doesn't look so great. So there is the back stitch, and you might be able to see it, that's the blanket stitch there, just to be doubly sure. Obviously I'm going to turn this the right side out like I've done with this leg, and I'm going to do the same for the arms as well. This is what I've got so far. I did 2 rounds, I suppose, of a kind of a hybrid stitch between a slip stitch and a running stitch, and then I did a blanket stitch. So I said I am slightly paranoid when it comes to things that my daughter can take apart, so I really wanted to make sure it was well and truly there. The hybrid of the running stitch and the slip stitch you couldn't see. Obviously you can see the blanket stitch, but he's a monster, so I'm not too worried. I am going to leave it here though tonight because it's getting quite late and I can't decide where I want the arm, so I'm going to take a step back before I do something I will regret with him, and I will come back to him hopefully tomorrow, and as well as getting some buttons for his eyes, I think. I've just got a face on this little guy. I've sewn 2 buttons on it, as you can see, but then I also used some gem tack, which I'll show you in 1 second when I grab hold of it. So I sewed on the buttons and then put this around like underneath, and I've just glued on this felt mouth that I cut out. It looks like a peanut I cut out. I just cut a random shape, I've glued that on, and then once that's dry, so probably tomorrow now considering the time, I'm just going to go over that with some navy thread just around it, just to double secure it on. Before I forgot, because I nearly wrapped this without actually filming it, this is the book that I've got to go along with the sock monster I'm making our daughter for Halloween. So obviously that's not my monster, because she loves these books. I just thought this was really cute for Halloween. Last year we got her a regular storybook called Fragoline, which is a fantastic book and is kind of her to a T now she's entering being a toddler. But I thought this one would be quite fun, as I said, to go along with that sock monster I'm making her. And I'm going to be wrapping it in this paper. And I actually have tissue paper to match this to wrap up the sock monster, which I'll show you once that's all done.